We are live.
Thank you, Dr. Evans. Dr. Bullock, would you call the roll, please?
Certainly. Let me apologize in advance if I say your name incorrectly. Dr. Blanton? Dr. Dempsey?
Present.
Vice Chair Fleming?
Present.
Ms. Edwards?
Present.
Dr. Graham? Dr. Houston? Dr. Locklear? Dr. Marr? Dr. Elliott? Dr. Penfield?
Present.
Superintendent Truitt?
Here.
Mrs. Jones?
Present. Good morning.
Good morning. Dr. Holland?
Present.
Dr. Weddington?
Dr. Weddington has joined by phone and he is having trouble with his mic, his audio.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Dr. Griffin?
Present.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Patton? And I am also present. So we have 10.
Quorum. We have
We
quorum.
have 10. Yep.
Thank you, Dr. Bullock. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome commission members, advisors, staff, on-site visitors, and online listeners to the August 10th, 2023 monthly meeting of the North Carolina Professional Educator Preparation and Standards Commission. This Standards Commission develops and recommends to the State Board of Education rules related to all aspects of educator preparation, licensure, continuing education, and professional standards of North Carolina educators. I am Van Dempsey, Chair of the Professional Educator Preparation and Standards Commission, and I call this meeting to order. Our agenda and materials are available online to the DPI website, www.ncpublicschools.org, on the SBE meetings link. The meeting is also audio streamed through a link located at the bottom of the e-board agenda. I will now read the ethics statement that is required of us. Mission members are reminded that it is our duty to avoid conflicts of interest and the appearance of conflicts of interest as we handle the work of this commission. Does any member of the commission know of any conflict of interest or any appearance of conflict with respect to any matters coming before us at this meeting? If so, please state them for the record. If during the course of the meeting you become aware of an actual or apparent conflict of interest, please bring the matter to the attention of the chair. It will then be your duty to abstain from participating in discussion on the matter and from voting on the matter. We will now move to approval of the agenda. I want to note that the July minutes are not yet completed, so they will not appear on the agenda, and we will take those up in the September meeting. Commission members, you have had an opportunity to review the proposed agenda for today's meeting. Do I have a motion to approve this agenda for the August 10th, 2023 meeting?
So moved. This is
So
Kathy.
moved. Second, Marcy.
Thank you both. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. The link for the August State Board of Education meeting has been sent to you prior to this meeting. The recording is bookmarked at the Presentations for the Educator Standards and Practices ES&P Committee, which is the committee that handles the work of Pepsi, and you can review that link on your own calendar. NCDPI staff updates and discussions. Dr. Evans will now present the 2022-2023 annual Pepsi report. Dr. Evans.
Thank you, Dr. Dempsey. Let me share my screen. Good morning, Pepsi members. This morning I'm going to share with you the annual report for 22-23. The report term focuses on September 1st, 2022 to August 31st, 2023 for this report. And so the rationale for this report is based on this session law that you can see right here. It says that there's a requirement for an annual report by December 1st of each year that needs to be sent to the JLEOC, which you can see here. It's the Joint Legislative Education Oversight Committee, after it's been reviewed by the State Board of Education. So I'm going to jump right into the report overview, and I'll introduce you to all the different parts of the report. So you can see, if you've seen this report before, this report is similar to the layout that has been presented in past years. It starts out with an introduction section, which lays out the rationale for the commission, and then membership for the commission, who the members are and how they represent the field. And then also the meetings that are held by Pepsi, and the policy guide and the meeting summary are included within that section. Next, I'm going to highlight two of the most important sections of the report: the commission membership and the meeting sections. First, I'll talk about the commission membership. So as you know, as members of Pepsi, there are 2-year appointments for this commission, and this session law here allowed for staggering those appointments for alternating members. And this is to preserve the institutional knowledge of the commission so that all members are not being exited at the same time and the new membership is being entered at the same time. So then you have some members that have already been there to help onboard the new members that will be joining. This year, we have 4 members leaving, and the first 2 members, Dr. Houston and Dr. Marr, have been with us since the inception of the commission. And in addition, we are also losing Dr. Holland and Ms. Carper. And we have already said goodbye to Ms. Carper, and Dr. Holland is here today, and we will get to say goodbye to her as well as Dr. Houston and Dr. Marr, and we thank them immensely for their service to Pepsi. And you can see that the replacements are in process for Dr. Marr, Houston, and Holland, and that Ms. Jones, who has joined us today, is replacing Ms. Carper. This is a composition of what the current commission looks like, and you can see that we are just missing the 3 replacements from the previous slide. So for Dr. Holland, Dr. Houston, and Dr. Marr. And those are in process, as I already said. So I wanted to give you that snapshot of what membership looks like, and that, as you know, it represents EPPs and K-12 stakeholders across the state. Next, I'll be focusing on Pepsi meetings, so monthly and subcommittee work. And I wanted to give you an example of what one of the notations from the report includes, and each entry has the following components. So you can see on the first line, there's the date for the particular meeting, and in parentheses is the type of meeting. And then underneath that, there's the link to that meeting. So you can easily click that link, it's hyperlinked, and then you can go see any of the minutes or any of the materials for that particular meeting. And then down below that is actually a description of the agenda items. And so last year, as you may know, we had 20 total meetings, and a majority of our work focused on the North Carolina Pathways to Excellence for Teaching Professionals through these working groups, and also during the monthly meetings, we also focused on that work as well. And I just want to say, as somebody who supports the commission on a regular basis, I want to commend all of you for your hard work and your dedication to Pepsi, because this is a volunteer commission, and you take this work very seriously, and I appreciate all of your efforts and your expertise throughout the year. And now, any questions about the report?
Any questions or follow-up comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the 2022-2023 annual Pepsi report to be sent to the State Board of Education in September?
Dr. Dempsey, Anthony Graham, so moved.
Thank you, sir.
This is
Second.
Randy. Oh, second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Dr. Evans. And I want to echo Dr. Evans' comment about the work this group has done over the last year. It is impressive to say the least. Now, Dr. Seiberg will provide an update for the EPP accountability rules. Dr. Seiberg.
Good morning. This is a short one. We are still in the process of the verification on the data front, and that's ongoing work between Dr. Baxter and Patrick Doherty. So that is not ready for prime time yet, so we're going to push that until September to share with you in September. Apologies for not having that done, but it's quite a heavy lift to just make sure all these data are clean and ready to go. So that's the update.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? Thank you, Dr. Seiberg. Next, I'd like to provide a quick update about a process for drafting bylaws for conducting the business of Pepsi as directed by General Statute 115C-268.1D. Pepsi has not in its existence had a set of bylaws that provide guidelines and parameters for the business of Pepsi. Dr. Evans and I and Dr. Tomlin, Dr. Seiberg have had discussions about a process for how to bring to the commission framing for what those bylaws might include, including looking at other similar organizations. So what we are in the process of doing is preparing a working draft so that we're not starting from blank paper based on what other parallel similar commissions do. And we will bring that preliminary draft to the commission at the September meeting for review and discussion. It will not be for a vote, so that we can frame these bylaws in a way that helps support the work of the commission and help us to be more effective and efficient. So we will look at that draft for the first time. It will be very much a working draft for the commission to review and revise. We will bring it back again in October. If the commission feels like it is at a state where we can consider adoption, we would be able to do that. If we need more work, we'll move it to the November meeting. But I did want to make everyone aware that between this meeting and the next meeting, you may see a message from me that would include a draft of what that document looks like in its preliminary stage. Anybody have any questions about that? We'll obviously have more substance when we get to September. Hearing none, I'd like to share a few additional chairman's comments. I would like to provide the follow-up on the membership update that Dr. Evans just provided, as several members' terms are ending on August 31st, 2023, and these commissioners will not be returning for an additional term. I want to thank, for myself as the chair, and also for all the people on the commission and people who support public education in North Carolina, these individuals for their hard work and dedication to Pepsi over multiple years. Dr. Michael Marr, Dr. Sam Houston, and Dr. Marcy Holland. Thank you all for what you have done to support Pepsi, in particular, over the last couple of years as we have done the Pathways work. Your dedication and commitment and service to the Commission and to the state of North Carolina it has been quite important. And as I said a few minutes ago, impressive. So I want to thank you all for your service. I don't know if, I know at least one, Dr. Holland, I don't know if you would like to make any comments. You're the one of those three, you're on the call.
Thank you for the opportunity, but no, I'm good. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you. New appointees are being considered by the General Assembly for the upcoming year, and we'll have an update on that as those decisions are made. There are two additional updates following up on the July meeting that I would like to share. One is related to LICN 008, the licensure fees policy, and the second is the weighted EPP accountability model. Let me share these two updates with you based on what we know at this point. LICN 008, I want to update you briefly on the licensure fee policy proposal that came before us at our last meeting. The matter was not considered by the State Board of Education at its regular meeting last week. DPI staff are working to provide a more detailed documentation of need for the fee. They are also working with the General Counsel's office and the State Board office to determine the most appropriate next steps for further consideration by Pepsi and or the State Board of Education. If and when there is further information to share, I will bring that back to you at the monthly Pepsi meeting. But for now, we are on hold on consideration of that policy until we have the additional information that DPI and State Board will bring to us. The second update is on the weighted EPP accountability model and questions and points of discussion that have come up relative to the model. And this is to follow up to Dr. Seiberg's point earlier. As a follow-up to the July Pepsi meeting discussion regarding the weighted EPP accountability model that was created by Pepsi, the review and adoption of this model is on hold until the General Assembly is ready to revisit this item. Additionally, as the alternative model that has been discussed by Pepsi is not part of the current legislative charge, it can only be taken up by Pepsi as directed by the General Assembly. Consideration of this model would require that direction, and at the point that the General Assembly signals to the North Carolina State Board of Education and Pepsi that legislators are ready to re-engage that process, consideration of any alternative model would be directed by them. As the chair of Pepsi, I will formally request that the State Board of Education chair and the state superintendent include this issue and request on the next legislative agenda from their offices. So those are the two updates on matters that came before us in July, and in both cases we are on hold pending decisions by other bodies. If there is no other business to bring before the commission today, we are at the end of our agenda. Dr. Evans, I want to make sure I have not skipped over any items.
You are good to go.
Thank you. Thank you, commission members, advisors, and staff for your preparation for the discussions. I remind commission members that our next monthly meeting will be held virtually on Thursday, September the 14th, from 3:30 to 6:30. Don't forget, if you have not marked your calendars, we are moving the meeting to the afternoon. We have now completed our meeting, and unless there is additional business at this time, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
This is Ms. Edwards, I motion.
Second.
Thank you both. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all. The meeting is adjourned.